It's been a month and a half since my Season 4 update for my Twitch save, the Lincoln Loco. So understandably, if you've forgotten what's happened in that time, there's a playlist in the top right of the screen. For everyone else, here is Season 5.
Access granted.
Last season we came second in the Championship, earning promotion up to the promised land of the Premier League. But when West Brom have more than double our wage bill and Man City can spend 13.6 times more than us, it was always going to be an uphill struggle. Basically, we're going to have to try and replace every single position on the pitch and bring in some really experienced players who have played in the Premier League before and have got some fantastic mentals to carry the team forward. And that is exactly why we picked up 19-year-old Bosnian CDM Antonio Matkovic, 19-year-old Colombian winger Vladimir Vieco, 20-year-old Norwegian midfielder Jesper Nordvelle, and 20-year-old Uruguayan winger Lautaro Rodriguez for a combined total fee of $13.5 million. Look, I see 5-star potential and I get tunnel vision, and I'm sure you guys are the exact same. And besides, if we get relegated, they will be amazing in the Championship. But we did finally actually spend sensibly. Last season our best player was Joe Bellingham, in on loan from Birmingham City. They failed to get promoted from League One again, so were forced to cut ties and sell him to us for $6 million. We also needed a proper Premier League striker, and for the cut price of just £6 million, we signed up Dion Drena-Bellio from Tottenham, an absolute steal. But so far we hadn't signed any defenders, and that's an area that we really had to focus on. So with transfer budgets dwindling and wage budgets getting quite tight, we had to go in for some really good value picks. Christian Pastina arrived for £2.1 million from Benevento, able to play centre-back and at left-back, although starting at left-back is going to be Sergio Gomez, who we picked up on a free after he was released by Man City. But the marquee signing was Leonidas Sterigu, purchased from Freiburg for £6 million, fresh from his World Cup win with Switzerland. And I don't just mean a win at the World Cup, I mean he played the full 120 minutes in the World Cup final as Switzerland beat Portugal to be the 2026 champions. According to the One Football app, the World Cup winning potential is there for Leonidas. At just 20 years old, he's made over 130 appearances for St. Gallen. They are currently third in the Swiss Super League as well, although it looks like they're not going to reach the top spot because young boys are running away with things. But at 20 years old, he's already made his first senior cap for the Swiss national team as well. So this boy has got potential. You can also keep up to date with all of his stats powered by Opta, but of course that applies to every single player as well. So if you want to help me and the channel out and also keep track with all of your favourite wonder kids from Football Manager, download the One Football app free from the top line of the description. Last season our success came from a 4-3-3, so why change a winning formula? Well, teams like Man City and Liverpool are still going to absolutely tear us apart. So we created a 5 at the back formation to try and stop them. But with a very successful pre-season behind us, we went into our first Premier League game away to Brighton full of confidence. We may be predicted to come 20th this season, but Brighton are predicted to come 18th. So if anything, already on the first day of the season, this is a real relegation 6-pointer. Brighton scored first, but we pulled one back with Dion scoring on his debut. Brighton then took the lead again, but we aren't quitters and we pulled another one to draw the game 2-2. We were pretty pleased with ourselves to be fair, but the baptism of fire was still to come. Our next 4 games were against Liverpool, Man United, Newcastle and Arsenal, all of whom finished in the top 6 last season. Unsurprisingly, we lost 2-1 to both Man United and Liverpool, although the match stats were a lot closer than I expected, so heading into the Newcastle game, I had pretty high hopes. Until we lost the game 1-0 but got absolutely battered, and 1-0 was pretty lucky. But of course it was Arsenal next, so we played the back 5 formation and sat back and defended for our lives and came away with a 0-0 win. At least it feels like a win sometimes in those situations. But we'd done enough losing and drawing in the league. 5 games into the season, we were 19th place in the table with only Brentford below us, who we played next. The start of this game is not looking brilliant. We've been half an hour into it, 4 shots to 3 shots, 4 shots apiece now. Not a single highlight. Not a great first half. I'm going to go aggressive, far from pleased with what I've just seen. And it's motivated players there, which is nice. Oh, we're in the white. I was getting excited and thinking that was us. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Please tell me it's offside or something. Oh, God, it might be. What's gone on here? Come on! Come on! Bellio down to Vieco. Vieco brings the ball forward. Shoots. Oh, that was almost it. Buemo comes forward though. Oh, oh, what? That's not a penalty. That's not a penalty. There's no justice. Outside the area. Look at where the challenge happens. We go sideline and reverse it. Oh my word. Sideline reversed. So thanks to some dodgy 3D representation of some zeros and ones in the background and all the code, we sat bottom of the Premier League table after 6 games. Not really ideal. Of course, this wasn't good enough, so things had to change, and I changed things by changing absolutely nothing. Sticking with the 4-3-3, we picked up our first win of the season over Wolves, thanks to a Vieco goal. And then another win against Leeds, as Dion scored a brace before we took on high-flying Southampton and kept a clean sheet in a 0-0 draw. Somehow our form had turned around, and it was inexplicable. Just as inexplicable as it turning back around again and losing 5-1 twice, to West Ham and Crystal Palace. In fact, it started off a run of results where we lost 6 games out of 7, our only win coming thanks to a brace from Dion against his former club as they had their first visit to Lincoln. Although that's not actually as surprising as it may look to you guys, because at this point Tottenham were actually below us in the table. If you want to stay in the Premier League, you have to be consistent. And the only thing we were consistent at was losing games. But we knew that over the course of a season, if we did enough winning to average out to 1 point per game, that would be enough for us to stay in the Premier League. But with 16 games gone in the season, we only had 12 points, 4 points off our target, and we faced a Christmas in the relegation zone. So when I wrote my Christmas list to Santa Claus, my wish to him was to have 9 points from the next 12, and I tell you what, Santa replied and got those 9 points for us. We may have lost 1-0 to Leicester, but we scored 3 goals in each of our other 3 games to bring home a huge haul of points, dragging us up to 16th place in the table, and with 21 points from 20 games. Now, January was due to be a very busy month for us, although not on the transfer front because I'd spent all of our money in summer and the board wouldn't give me any more. You see, despite having no luck in the league at all of our luck was being used in the cup draws. In the League Cup, we managed to beat Wolverhampton Wanderers kids in the second round, and then were gifted Hartlepool, Blackpool and Ipswich, all of whom we beat to set up a semi-final with Manchester United. Could we just maybe beat the Red Devils over 2 legs and get ourselves to a League Cup final? No, of course not. Of course, we lost 4-2 on aggregate and the dream was over. January was also pretty busy for the FA Cup as well. After losing a league game 2-1 to Wolves on January 3rd, 6 days later we drew them in the FA Cup third round and drew 0-0. Meaning that 9 days later we had to play them in a replay, stuffing them 1-0, taking our season record over Wolves to 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss. Although to avoid any unwarranted excitement, despite beating Stoke 4-0 in the 4th round, we succumbed to Crystal Palace in the 5th round. But January and February followed the usual pattern of losing a lot of games and then winning a few out of nowhere. It meant that at the start of March, with 11 games to go, we sat a healthy 15th place, 5 points clear of the relegation zone. However, 6 of our last 11 were against 6 of the teams in the Premier League's top 7. Another 2 were against 10th place Newcastle and 12th place Fulham, but luckily for us, we had to play Aston Villa, Tottenham and Brentford, all teams below us. If we could win those 3 games against the teams below us, it obviously helped us in that relegation battle and would take us to 37 points in total, 1 off the target of 38 points we had for the season, but given how poorly West Brom and Brentford have been, I figured the only chance we'd be going down was in 18th place. So as predicted, we started off with a heavy loss to Liverpool, but that was okay as we knew it wasn't going to be winnable. We had all our hopes on the Aston Villa game afterwards, which went on to lose 3-0. Wait, that wasn't part of the plan. We're meant to win that game. Well, in that case, we were going to have to win another game instead. And coming up next was Fulham, who had been in some bad form and were on low on confidence. We may have left it late in the game, but we managed to win it 3-1. So our 9-point target was still on, and with 30 games gone, we maintained a 5-point gap to the relegation zone, and with Brentford 7 points from safety, for me it was still just 18th place that I was worried about. Chelsea and Man City came next, and despite switching to an ultra-defensive formation to try and drag out some draws, as we expected, we lost those games, although we really pushed Man City right to the wire. Crystal Palace were up next, and the Eagles have been chasing European football all season, but luckily we stopped them in their tracks to draw 0-0. an extra point on the board. The point meant with 5 games to go, we still maintained a 5-point gap to the relegation zone, but both Tottenham and Brentford had started to pick up wins, and with Tottenham having 2 games in hand on us, it looked like they would use them to go ahead of us in the table. Apart from, they didn't need to use them to go ahead of us in the table, because the next game we played against was Tottenham, and they beat us to go ahead of us in the table. The good news is though, we're still 5 points clear with 4 games to go. Newcastle were up next, but luckily for us had fallen off this season following a string of top 4 finishes. A Jesper Nordvelle goal secured us a point in that game. Then it was the turn of Manchester United, who scored in the 90th minute to ensure they collected all 3 points in one of the most valiant performances I'd seen from the squad all season. But destiny was in our hands. Our penultimate game of the season was against Brentford, and they were still below us. We held a 2-point lead over the Bees, who were looking for the redemption arc of all redemption arcs, given their position 5 games ago. If we won, we'd be 5 points clear of the relegation zone with 1 game to go, and with only 3 points available for a win in the league, that would ensure our Premier League survival for next season. But of course, it's never that simple. Bellingham brings it over the halfway line to Dion, Drenner, Bellio, and Dion, come on! Wolves are losing as well to West Brom, who are already relegated. Oh, the echo. I want this to be the most boring game I have ever seen in my life. I want no highlights. I don't want a single highlight throughout the rest of this game. This is not what I want. Oh, no. I'm not sure. Finds a ball to Dion. Dion racing forward. We just need an equaliser. An equaliser is all we need. An equaliser is all we need. Another highlight. Hoofed up towards Draper. Can't win it in the air. Second ball won by Brentford. They have it on the halfway line. Play it back to Sorensen, the back line. Forward towards Henry. But Brentford hold on to the ball. Onyeka brings it through the middle of the pitch. Out wide to Henry. Shoots. It's over. It's over. Penultimate game of the season, we dropped to the relegation zone. And so with the final game of the season coming up, we moved into the relegation zone. I did everything I could to raise the morale of my players. Team meetings, tell them how great they are at training and how much I admire their conduct. But there was only so much stalling I could do. Our final game of the season was away to Arsenal, chasing European football. It was going to be tough. Our route to survival relied on Brentford losing at home to Everton, who had been in really poor form in the final few weeks of the season. But there is another team still in play that caught us completely off guard. Fulham had been playing terribly, and we're only 2 points away. If we beat Arsenal, our superior goal difference would take us past Fulham if they drew away to Man United, or if they lost and we won, we'd finish on 1 more point than them. 60 seconds into the game, it's a shaky start. It's a shaky start after 60 seconds. It's not ideal. What? Pastina, why are you going for a diving header there? In what world are you going for a diving header there? Fulham are losing 2-0. Oh my god, chat. Fulham are losing 2-0, and we've made it to half-time 0-0. Nordvelle on the ball, finds Rossi. We've got numbers going forward. Dion, can you just... Oh, Bellingham's offside. Bellingham's offside. It's not scored anyway, so it's okay, I suppose. Brentford have scored. All right, that's out the question. Brentford are winning. We have to get a goal to win this now. We've got to get a goal. Win this and we stay up. Win this and we stay up. Stop standing still. Do something with the ball. Rossi not playing well, Freddie Draper on you come. Arsenal have been more dominant in the second half. They've had a 2.2 XG here. But there's a free kick for us right now. Gomez, ball in the middle. Headed clear, only as far as Dion. Dion into Leonidas. Leonidas to Gomez. Gomez to Draper. Draper. Dion scored! We've done it! Chat, we might have just done this. We might have just done this. It counts! It counts! The goal counts! No way! Oh my god, it's a highlight straight away. No. Jesus. We're dropping back to a flat back 5 here as well. Full back defend. Full back defend. Dropping the tempo down. We are time wasting consistently, and we are going to just sit back. Sit back in a low block. I can't believe we've done that. Come on! Come on! Chat! What a result! What a result! The great escape was over. We'd done it. In the dying moments of the Premier League season, we ensured our survival by beating Arsenal. And the best thing about this, in our final run of 11 games in the Premier League season, we needed just a couple of wins. Obviously one came against Arsenal. Guess where the only other win came? That's right, Fulham. Now there's a part of me that feels like Brentford and Tottenham's escapes were actually better, as Spurs somehow ended up 12th place and Brentford added the FA Cup to their 16th place finish. But neither of them had the drama of Arsenal away. If you want to see the whole journey live, there's a link on my Twitch, link to that one down in the description. I stream from 4 PM every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday. Sometimes even extra streams thrown in there as well. But if you want to stay on YouTube, there's a video on screen right now where I go through the entire career of Jude Bellingham. It's a banger, check it out now.